A man who truly wants you will move mountains to be with you. A man who doesn't will make excuses while you build mountains in your head, trying to justify his absence. How many times have you stared at your phone, waiting, checking, refreshing, overthinking, feeling that hollow pit in your stomach, wondering why he hasn't texted back? You tell yourself he's busy. You tell yourself he's tired. You tell yourself maybe he didn't see it. Maybe his phone died. Maybe, just maybe, he cares but just doesn't know how to show it. Stop. Stop lying to yourself. If he wanted to talk to you, you wouldn't be here searching for answers. He would have answered already. Hit the like button if you're done waiting, not for me, but for you. Let this be the first time you make a decision that isn't about him. Subscribe, because today, I'm not here to comfort you, I'm here to wake you up. Welcome back to the channel, my queens. You are here because deep down, something in you knows this isn't love. Something in you is tired of the emotional crumbs, the mixed signals, the empty promises. You've been fed a lie since you were a little girl. The movies, the books, the songs, they all told you to be patient. That love is about fighting, proving, waiting. That if you just give him more time, more love, more understanding, he will see your worth. But what if I told you that he already sees it? He sees it and he doesn't care. You don't believe me? Look at his actions. A man who wants you makes you feel wanted. He calls. He shows up. He makes effort. A man who doesn't, he lets you wonder. He lets you hurt. He lets you wait. And yet, here you are, treating his silence like a puzzle, desperately searching for the missing piece that will make him love you. But the truth is, there is no missing piece. He doesn't text back because he doesn't have to, because you're still here, aren't you? Let me tell you a story. A woman I worked with, I'll call her Lisa, spent 3 years trapped in this cycle. 3 years waiting for a man who treated her like an afterthought. He was charming at first, made her feel special, but over time, the texts got shorter, the calls less frequent. Soon, she was chasing. She'd send long messages pouring her heart out, only to get a "yeah" or "sorry," "been busy" in return. She made excuses for him. "He's stressed with work," she'd say. "He's just not good at texting." Meanwhile, this same man was active on social media, hanging out with his friends, living his life, without her. One day, Lisa finally listened when I told her the truth. I told her, "A man who loves you won't leave you questioning your worth. And a man who makes you feel invisible isn't your soulmate. He's your wake-up call." And so, she did something radical. She disappeared. She stopped texting first, stopped checking his Instagram, stopped giving him access to her energy. And do you know what happened? He came running. Suddenly he was interested. Suddenly he had time. But by then she didn't want him anymore, because in that silence, in that space, she found herself. And that's the part you don't see yet. You are afraid to let go because you think he is your happiness. But he is the very thing keeping you from it. Every second you spend waiting for a text, you are handing over your power. Every time you double text, overthink, break your own boundaries just to keep him interested, you are shrinking yourself. You are begging for attention from a man who wouldn't cross the street for you. Enough. Enough making excuses, enough pretending, enough letting a man's lack of effort dictate your self-worth. You are not a side character in his life. You are not an option. You are the prize. But as long as you keep chasing, keep waiting, keep hoping, he will never treat you like one, because a man will never respect a woman who does not respect herself. Say it with me. I refuse to wait. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. Let him feel the silence of your transformation, because what's coming next? It will change the way you see men forever. Stay with me. It's time to open your eyes. Number 1, he's not busy. He just doesn't care enough. So, my dear, how much longer will you let yourself be fooled? How much longer will you defend him, make excuses for him, and convince yourself that he's just busy? Let me tell you something raw, something real, something you may not want to hear. No man is too busy to text back, not a single one. Not the CEO running a billion-dollar company, not the doctor pulling back-to-back shifts, not the soldier deployed overseas. If a man wants you, he will find a way. If he doesn't, he will find excuses. And right now, you're falling for every single one of them. You sit there, staring at your phone, heart sinking every hour that passes without a reply. You check his social media. Oh, look, he just posted a meme, liked a picture, commented on someone else's story. But still, no message for you. Still, the screen stays dark, the notification never comes. And yet, instead of seeing the truth, you invent a softer reality for yourself. Maybe he's just overwhelmed. Maybe he's stressed. Maybe he doesn't like texting. Stop twisting yourself into knots trying to explain away his silence. Because here's the truth. He's not busy. He just doesn't care enough. If his house was on fire, do you think he'd be too overwhelmed to call 911? If someone offered him front row tickets to see his favorite artist, do you think he'd suddenly be bad at texting? No. He would reply within seconds, because when something matters to him, he makes it a priority. And right now, you are not that priority. And I know that hurts. I know that realization stabs you in the chest, because it means that everything you've told yourself about love, about him, about your worth, was a lie. But here's the bigger betrayal. This lie didn't just come from him. It came from everywhere. The world has been setting you up for this moment since you were a little girl. They fed you fairy tales where the woman just had to wait, where love was a long-suffering, patient game. They showed you movies where the girl forgives, and in the end, the man magically changes. The books you read, the songs you sang along to, they all whispered the same message. If you love him enough, he will love you back. If you wait long enough, he will come around. If you prove your worth, he will finally see it. But where is your happy ending, my dear? Where is your reward for all this waiting, all this hoping? It doesn't exist, because real life is not a love story, and love does not work the way they told you it does. Love is not proving yourself. Love is not begging for attention. Love is not sitting by the phone, hoping he suddenly wakes up and realizes what he lost. Love does not make you feel invisible. Love does not make you wait. And I know right now the pain of this realization feels unbearable. It's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't just sit in your chest. It settles in your bones, makes your body heavy, makes you feel like something inside you has died. And in a way, something has. But listen to me. This pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. This pain is the fire that will burn away every lie you were told about love. This pain is here to destroy the weak, desperate version of yourself who accepted breadcrumbs and silence. And from these ashes you will rise. How? You stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop making excuses for a man who has already shown you exactly who he is. You sit with the pain. You feel every part of it. You let it wash over you like a storm, knowing that once it passes, the air will be clearer, the sky open, and you will be new. You pour all that love, the love you wasted on him, the love you held in your hands waiting to give, back into yourself. You build a life so full, so radiant, that the thought of waiting for a damn text message feels laughable. And one day, when he finally does text back, when he finally notices your absence, do you know what you'll feel? Nothing, because by then, you'll have risen too high for his words to reach you. So say this with me: I rise from this pain. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. Let him feel the silence you leave behind. And stay with me, because what comes next, it will destroy every last illusion you have about love and men. You are not ready for what I'm about to tell you, but you need to hear it. Let's go. Number 2, he's keeping you as an option, not a priority. So, my dear, let's stop pretending. You are not his priority. You are his backup plan. And deep down, you already know it. He keeps you just close enough to keep you hoping, but not close enough to make you feel secure. He disappears when he's entertained, and suddenly, out of nowhere, there he is. When? When he's bored, when he's lonely, when the girl he really wants isn't responding. That's when you get his, "Hey, how have you been?" text. That's when you suddenly matter. And what do? You light up. You feel relief. You let him back in. You tell yourself, see, he does care. He does miss me. Wake up. He's not choosing you. He's using you. You are not the woman he dreams about. You are not the woman he's afraid to lose. You are the woman he keeps on the shelf, just in case. You are his jacket. He doesn't wear you every day. He doesn't even think about you when the sun is shining, when things are good, when his life is full. But the moment it gets cold, the moment he feels lonely, insecure, rejected, he reaches for you. Not because he loves you, not because he values you, because you are convenient. Do you know how many women are trapped in this cycle? How many women waste years of their lives waiting for a man to pick them when he has already made his choice? I read a story on a forum about a woman who spent 5 years in this situation. 5 years of late-night texts. 5 years of, "I'm just not ready for a relationship." 5 years of being treated like an option. He would disappear for weeks, even months, and then, like clockwork, there he was again. Apologetic, charming, full of fake promises. And every time, she believed him. Every time, she let him back in. Then, one day, she saw it. One day, she checked his Instagram and found out he had a girlfriend. A woman he had been committed to for 2 years. A woman he took on vacations, introduced to his family, posted on his social media. The whole time, he was keeping her in his pocket just in case. The whole time, she was waiting for him to choose her, while he had already chosen someone else. And my dear, if this story hurts, if it makes you angry, if it makes you feel sick, it's because you see yourself in it. Stop being his backup plan. Stop being his safety net. Stop giving him the comfort of knowing that no matter what, you'll always be there. You are not the woman he loves. You are the woman he settles for when love is not an option, and that should disgust you. You think you're being patient. You think you're being loyal. You think, if I just wait a little longer, if I just show him how much I care, he'll realize what he has. No, he won't. A man does not wake up one day and suddenly start valuing the woman he took for granted. That's not how this works. What he doesn't value now, he never will. And every time you answer that late-night text, every time you drop everything for him, every time you forgive his silence and start the conversation first, you are training him to keep treating you this way. Do you want to know what will actually make him notice you? Silence. Stop responding. Stop showing up. Stop making it so damn easy for him to walk in and out of your life. Make him wonder where you went. Because the moment he sees that the door is no longer open, the moment he realizes you are not his backup plan anymore, his whole world will shift. And maybe, just maybe, he'll text you again. Maybe he'll call. Maybe he'll beg. But by then, you will be gone. Say this with me. I refuse to be an option. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let him feel the silence of your absence. And stay with me, because what's coming next? It will break every last illusion you have about love. This is only the beginning. Let's go. Number 3. If he cared, you wouldn't be wondering. So, my dear, let me ask you this. Why are you so confused? Why are you sitting there analyzing his texts, rereading old conversations, dissecting his mixed signals like they're some kind of secret code? Why are you losing sleep over a man who sleeps just fine without you? Let me tell you the truth you keep avoiding. A man who truly wants you will not leave you wondering. Love is not a puzzle. Love is not a riddle. Love is not a guessing game where you sit in the dark waiting for a clue. When a man truly wants a woman, he makes it clear as day. He doesn't keep her waiting. He doesn't leave her on red. He doesn't come and go when it's convenient for him. He shows up consistently every time. But you're out here treating this man like a king while he treats you like an option. Why? Why are you putting your heart in the hands of a man who doesn't even respect your time? Why are you making excuses for someone whose actions are screaming the truth, that you are not his priority? Let me tell you a story. A woman I knew, I'll call her Rachel, was in love with a man who was unsure. She spent months waiting for him to make up his mind. She was patient. She was understanding. She listened to his excuses, let him come and go, stayed hopeful that one day he would wake up and see her worth. And then one day, he disappeared. No explanation, no closure, just gone. 6 months later, Rachel found out he was engaged to another woman. 6 months. The same man who told her he wasn't ready. The same man who needed time. The same man she thought just had to work on himself before he could love her properly. That man. He met another woman and knew instantly that he wanted to spend his life with her. Do you see it now? Men are not slow. They are not confused. They do not need years to figure out if they love you. A man who truly loves a woman is like a dog finding its home. He runs straight to her. No hesitation, no distractions, no second guessing. But the man you're waiting on, he's hesitating, he's distracted, he's out there figuring things out while keeping you on the back burner. Because, let's be real, why should he commit to you when he already has all the benefits without the responsibility? He knows you're waiting. He knows you'll reply. He knows that no matter how long he disappears, you'll still be there. And, my dear, that's exactly why he's not choosing you. Do you really want to be the woman he settles for because his other options didn't work out? Do you really want to waste years of your life waiting for a man to finally look at you the way you've been looking at him since day one? Stop. Stop breaking your own heart by holding on to a fantasy. Stop giving your loyalty to a man who wouldn't even notice if you disappeared from his life. Stop assuming that just because you love him, it means he will love you back the same way. Love is not one-sided. Love is not pain. Love is not waiting in the shadows, hoping he will finally see you. You deserve more. You deserve a man who calls, who shows up, who makes you feel wanted, cherished, chosen. A man who loves you in a way that makes you feel safe, not uncertain. And that starts with you. With the moment you stop allowing half-hearted men to occupy space in your heart. With the moment you decide to stop accepting confusion as love. So say it with me. I refuse to wait. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let him feel the silence you leave behind. And stay with me, because what's next? It will expose the biggest game men play to keep you stuck. Let's go. Number 4. He's keeping you hooked without giving you anything. So, my dear, tell me, how many times has he come back? How many times has he vanished into thin air, leaving you confused, heartbroken, and overthinking, only to return with a simple, meaningless, "Hey, how have you been?" And just like that, you let him back in. Why? Why do you let a man who treats you like a toy keep playing with your emotions? Why do you keep believing that maybe this time is different? That maybe this time he finally means it? Wake up. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's keeping you on the hook, giving you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to make you feel secure. You are the fish caught on his string. He reels you in, lets you go, then pulls you back again. And every time, you fall for it. This isn't love. This is manipulation. I've seen it too many times. Women on forums pouring their hearts out, saying, "He disappeared for weeks, but then he messaged me out of nowhere. Maybe he just needed space. He told me he's not ready for a relationship, but he still texts me late at night. Does that mean he has feelings for me? He broke up with me, but now he's saying he misses me. What if he realizes I'm the one?" No, my dear. What he realizes is that you are still available. He knows you'll respond. He knows you'll forgive. He knows that no matter how much he disrespects you, you'll still be there the moment he decides he wants attention. He doesn't want you. He wants control over you. You are not his love. You are his backup plan, his ego boost, his entertainment when he's bored, and you're falling for it. You're eating up his lies like they're gold, when in reality, they're nothing but scraps. He disappears for weeks, months, and yet, the second he reaches out, your heart skips a beat. You let your walls come down. You convince yourself that maybe, just maybe, this time he finally understands your worth. He doesn't, because if he did, he would have never left in the first place. If he truly cared, you wouldn't be an afterthought. You wouldn't be an option. You wouldn't be waiting for a text, analyzing every word, desperately searching for meaning in messages that mean nothing. And the worst part, he knows this. He knows that if he gives you just a little bit of attention, just a text, just a call, just a fake apology, you will come running. And so, he keeps doing it. Because why should he commit? Why should he treat you like a priority when you let him get away with treating you like a convenience? You're smarter than this. You know what happens next. He texts you. You respond. He pretends to care. You start talking again. He keeps the conversation just interesting enough to keep you hooked. And then he disappears again. And you're back at square one. Heartbroken, confused, waiting, wondering. Tell me, how many times do you have to relive this same pain before you finally say enough? Let me make this simple. Don't reply. Don't respond to his weak attempt at coming back. Don't give him the satisfaction of knowing that he still has power over you. And if you're doubting whether you should ignore him, If you're still searching for a reason to walk away, then do this one thing. Watch how fast he replaces you. Watch how quickly he stops trying the moment he realizes you're no longer an option. That's your real answer, because a man who actually loves you will not risk losing you. He will not disappear, reappear, and play these childish games. A man who loves you will stay. So say this with me: I break the cycle. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. And stay with me, because what's next? It will expose the reason you keep holding on to a man who has already let go of you. This ends today. Let's go. Number 5. You're making excuses for him while he's living his best life. So, my dear, how much longer are you going to lie to yourself? How much longer will you sit there making excuses for a man who has already moved on? Let me tell you the truth that you keep running from. He's not emotionally unavailable. He's just unavailable for you. You think he's complicated. You think he has commitment issues. You tell yourself that he's been hurt before, that he just needs time, that he's scared of love. You've turned him into some tragic love story in your mind, when in reality, he's just a man who doesn't want you the way you want him. And do you know how I know that? Because while you're sitting here, waiting, defending him, protecting his name, he's out there living his best life. You are writing a love story in your head, while he's out there starring in another woman's movie. And that's the part you refuse to see. You tell yourself, he's not ready for a relationship. But 2 months after you break up, he's posting pictures with someone new, smiling, traveling, holding her hand like it was the easiest thing in the world. You tell yourself, he's just dealing with a lot right now. But somehow, he has plenty of energy to party, to go out with his friends, to flirt with other women. You tell yourself, he's just scared of commitment. But the truth, he's only scared of committing to you. If a man tells you he's not ready for a relationship, believe him. But more importantly, act like it. Walk away. Cut him off. Don't sit there hoping he'll change his mind, because he won't. Not for you. Because when a man actually wants to be with a woman, he steps up. He doesn't need months or years to figure it out. He doesn't need space. He doesn't need time to heal. Love doesn't confuse people. Love makes people act. But you're the only one acting. You're the one checking his last scene on WhatsApp. You're the one making up scenarios in your head. You're the one crying yourself to sleep while he's out drinking, laughing, and texting other women. Do you see how insane that is? You're in love with a fantasy. You're holding on to who you wish he was instead of who he's actually showing you he is. And I know it hurts. I know how much it burns to realize that you were never the one for him. That you spent months, maybe years, trying to prove your worth to someone who never even bothered to see it. But listen to me carefully. The pain of walking away is temporary. The pain of staying, that's the kind of pain that will destroy you. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop giving your loyalty to a man who wouldn't even cross the street for you. Because the truth is, he's not coming back. And even if he does, it will be for the same reason as before. To use you, to keep you as an option, to drain you until there's nothing left. And by the time he leaves again, you will have wasted even more of your life waiting for a man who was never meant for you. You are not a side character in his story. You are not the warm-up act before the main event. You are the prize. But as long as you keep making excuses for him, you will never realize that. So, say this with me. I stop lying to myself. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. And stay with me, because what's next? It will expose the biggest mistake women make when trying to win a man's love. This ends today. Let's go. Number 6. The more you chase, the less he values you. So, my dear, tell me, why are you chasing a man who doesn't even care if you're there? Why are you the one double texting, the one initiating, the one begging for attention from a man who gives you nothing? Do you not see it yet? The more you chase him, the less he values you. Men don't respect what they don't have to work for. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. Look at how men treat the things they truly want. If they want a car, they work for it. If they want a promotion, they grind for it. If they want a championship, they train for it. But you handed yourself to him for free. You made yourself too available, too eager, too desperate. And now, he doesn't care. Because why should he? A child doesn't value a toy that's given to him for free. He plays with it for a little while, then tosses it aside when something shinier comes along. But a toy he had to earn, a toy he had to beg for, work for, maybe even fight for. That toy means something. And my dear, you are the toy he tossed aside. And yet, instead of walking away, instead of realizing your worth, you are chasing after the very man who discarded you. You are doing all the work while he's sitting back, laughing. You are the entertainment in his game. Let me tell you a story. A woman I worked with, I'll call her Mia, was obsessed with getting closure from her ex. He left her, no explanation, no warning, just disappeared. And she lost her mind. She sent him paragraphs, begging, pleading, trying to make him care. Do you know what he did? Nothing. Left her on read. Ignored her like she didn't exist. She was in agony, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't focus on anything except why. Then, one day, she decided to do something different. She went silent. 3 weeks of absolute silence. No texts, no calls, no watching his stories. Nothing. And guess what? Suddenly he was back. Suddenly he missed her. Suddenly he had so much to say. Do you see it now? Men only value what they have to work for. If you are always chasing, always available, always there, he will never appreciate you. But the moment you become a mystery, the moment you pull back your energy and make him wonder, that's when he starts paying attention. But listen to me carefully. This is not about playing games. This is about knowing your worth. If a man is only interested when you pull away, that means he never truly wanted you. He just wanted control. So what do? You stop chasing. You stop being available. You stop making it so damn easy for him. You become a mystery. And if he doesn't chase you, good, you just dodged a bullet. Because a man who is truly meant for you will never put you in a position where you feel like you have to chase him in the first place. So say this with me: I stop chasing. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. And stay with me, because what's coming next, it will expose why the women who stop chasing become the ones men can't forget. Let's go. Number 7. If he wanted you, he would act like it. So, my dear, let me ask you this. Why are you still waiting? Why are you sitting there checking your phone, hoping, praying, convincing yourself that maybe he just needs more time, that maybe he's scared, that maybe he's bad at expressing his feelings? No, stop lying to yourself. If he wanted you, he would act like it. Men don't forget the women they want. They don't get too busy for them. They don't play games. They don't leave them waiting, doubting, questioning their worth. When a man truly wants a woman, he moves mountains to be with her. He shows up. He calls. He makes effort. You've seen it before. You've seen men chase after the women they want. Think about the man who wakes up at 5 a.m. to hit the gym because he wants to impress a girl. Think about the man who drives 3 hours just to see her for a few minutes. Think about the man who risks rejection, swallows his pride, and does everything he can just to have a chance with the woman he truly wants. Now look at the man you're waiting for. Is he doing that for you? Or is he leaving you on red, giving you excuses, disappearing when it suits him? The answer is right in front of you. Love is a fire. If he's not burning for you, then why are you sitting in the cold? Why are you waiting for warmth from a flame that doesn't even exist? You deserve better than this. And don't you dare say, "But I love him." Love is not an excuse to be treated like an afterthought. Love is not a reason to accept breadcrumbs. Love is not a justification for wasting your life on a man who would never do the same for you. So walk away. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop making excuses for a man who has already given you the answer through his actions. And do you know what happens when you stop chasing? Everything changes. Because the moment you stop sitting in the cold, waiting for his fire, you start building your own. You start focusing on yourself. You start glowing, rising, becoming a version of yourself so powerful that one day he will look at you and realize he lost something he can never have again. And by then, you won't even care. So say this with me: I walk away. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. And stay with me, because what's coming next, it will show you how to rebuild yourself into the woman he will regret losing forever. Let's go. Number 8. Stop waiting for him. Start living for you. So, my dear, tell me, how much longer are you going to wait? How much more of your life are you willing to waste, standing still, waiting for a man who has already moved on? You are stuck in a cage with an open door, but you refuse to fly. You sit there, clinging to the memories, replaying the past, convincing yourself that if you just wait a little longer, if you just love him a little harder, if you just prove your worth, he'll come back. He'll choose you. He'll finally be the man you need him to be. But he won't. And the longer you wait, the more of your life you lose. Let me ask you this. What have you put on hold for him? What dreams have you sacrificed? What opportunities have you passed up? What parts of yourself have you silenced? All because you were too busy waiting for a man who was out there living his best life without you? I knew a woman, let's call her Emily. Emily spent 2 years waiting for a man who kept her in limbo, 2 years hoping he would finally commit, 2 years of making excuses for why he didn't call, why he didn't show up, why he treated her like an afterthought. Then one day, something inside her snapped. She blocked him. No warning, no explanation, no long emotional goodbye. And do you know what happened? Her life began. 6 months later, she was traveling the world, something she always wanted to do, but never did, because she was too busy waiting for him to figure things out. She started her own business, something he once told her was too risky to pursue. And then, when she least expected it, she met a man who adored her, a man who showed up for her the way her ex never did. And her ex, he came back, of course. He always did. The moment he realized she was no longer waiting, no longer available, no longer his to play with. He wanted her again. But by then, she didn't want him. Do you see it now? The moment you stop waiting, your life begins. The moment you stop looking at the door he closed, you will see the entire world that has been waiting for you. But you have to turn around. Stop checking his social media. Stop hoping he'll reach out. Stop waiting for closure that will never come. You don't need his love to be whole. You don't need his validation to be worthy. You don't need his permission to start your life. You are not here to be an afterthought. You are not here to be someone's second choice. You are not here to wait. You are here to rise. So say this with me: I choose me. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let yourself believe it. And stay with me, because this isn't just about letting go of him. It's about stepping into the most powerful version of yourself. And in the next section, I'll show you exactly how. Let's rise together. And that's it, my dear. The truth you didn't want to hear, but the truth that will set you free. He's not texting back because he doesn't care, and now you're done caring too. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more breaking your own heart over a man who never deserved you. Stop making a man your purpose. Your life is bigger than waiting for a damn text message. The second you stop chasing, everything changes. Your glow returns, your power rises. And him, he'll be the one wondering why you're not texting back. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with every woman who needs to hear it. Your rise begins now.